How do you invest your money? What's your favorite personal finance book? What's the best investment you've ever made? What's your biggest failure?
I've started a lot of YouTube channels, and I would say half of them have failed. So I probably have started 20, 25 channels.
What's your biggest piece of advice for someone that wants to become wealthy? What do you hate spending money on?
Water.
Hey guys, so in today's video, we are talking with personal finance content creators to get their advice on investing, saving money, making money, as well as any business advice they have. We're talking with some of the biggest names in the personal finance world, and I think that we're gonna learn a lot from what they have to say. Behind me is the 2022 BMW M8 Competition Grand Coupe. This is one of the fastest four-door sedans in the world with 617 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time in just 2.7 seconds. It's spec'd out in black with a really cool brown-orange interior. And yeah, I've just been a sucker for BMWs my entire life. And thank you to Cleo for making this video possible. I'm so excited to talk to today's guest. Let's go. So what's your name, age, and what do you do?
My name is Humphrey Yang. I'm 34 years old, and I make YouTube content, TikTok content, and Instagram content about finance.
I am Sebastian. I'm in my 30s, and I have a YouTube channel called Ask Sebi.
I'm Nate, I'm 24, and I make some videos online.
My name is Queenie. My age is 26 and I'm a full-time content creator. I create videos about personal finance, but also like money hacks.
My name is Seth Godwin. I am 28 years old and I do TikTok full-time.
My name is Vincent. I am 27 years old, and I create content on YouTube and some other platforms.
What makes you so passionate about personal finance?
Didn't grow up with a lot of money. Parents are immigrants, so blue-collar workers, and they never made that much money. So after college, I went to finance, and I realized like financial education is really bad in the US. I'm trying to do as much as I can to close that wealth gap by making finance more fun, more easy to understand, and more entertaining.
I'm passionate about personal finance because I almost went bankrupt about 5 years ago, and that scared the hell out of me because I didn't know what the heck was going on. I didn't know why all of this was happening. Didn't realize that if you defaulted on some credit cards that it was like one of the worst things you could do. I decided that I wanted to educate people on stuff that I wish that I would have known at 18 so that people didn't fall into the same traps that I did. Or if they had fallen into the same traps, how to get out of it.
I grew up in a single parent family. My dad was like a single stay-at-home dad. He didn't work and he had passive income. And that was kind of interesting, and I guess like that's what made me interested in it. I just wanted to share like the things that I've learned along the years because I know that maybe in some families, in some households, like people don't really talk about money, you know?
Yeah. How do you invest your money?
I think the biggest way that I'm investing my money is probably in my business, which is content creation.
I would say every paycheck that I get, I put a small percentage of it into the S&P 500, which is just an index fund. I also take some of that money and invest it in alternative things like cryptocurrency and real estate. I'm trying to invest more into my own business, so trying to reinvest and trying to like make my business grow bigger so that I can take a bigger profit from it later. And then lastly, I just also sit in a bunch of cash right now because I'm trying to save up for possibly a home or a bigger real estate purchase.
I definitely diversify a bit, but most of it is a lot of trading on my own.
So what type of things do you trade?
Like bonds, commodities.
What's a financial secret that changed your life?
I would say understanding leverage. So either leveraging capital through, people do this with like real estate, for example, leverage through other people, which Karl Marx would not be a fan of, but like hiring employees, and then, but just understanding leverage was a really big factor that was a game changer.
A lot of the most successful people that you'll meet in life, they are always taking on asymmetric risk. They're okay taking like 20 straight L's in a row. So that 21st time might produce, a 1 to 100, and that makes up for all their losses. Asymmetric risk, asymmetric upside, taking a lot of shots, but knowing that one will probably return much more than the sum of all your losses.
The 30% rule on credit, like the 30% utilization, is really not a great guideline. You really want to keep it below 10%, your utilization below 10%. That changed everything when it came to my score and getting approved for things.
Can you tell people what that means?
Yeah, so if you have like a $1,000 credit limit, generally people say you can use up to 30% of that, which would be $300. But if you want to maximize your credit and get the best out of what credit offers you, keep that reporting balance below 10%.
That a lot of rich people are cheaper than you think. I think a lot of people assume like if you're rich that you like just blow your money, and there are people who do that, right? Like lottery winners are pretty much the prime example of that, where I think statistically, most of them who win the lottery end up losing all of their money within 2 years. Rich people are pretty savvy with their money, especially if they came up with less money or no money.
So today's sponsor is a company I know you'll love because it will save you a lot of money. Yes, finance creators, they keep it real with you, but you know who keeps it even more real? Cleo. Cleo is an AI-driven app that helps you track your spending, save money, and achieve your financial goals. All great stuff, but it's actually fun to use. Imagine a text-based platform that will call you out on your BS spending. Overpaying on insurance, spending way too much on clothes? Well, Cleo will roast you when you enter roast mode. I encourage you guys to try it out. Cleo just wants the best for you, and she'll even hype you up when you're on track. She even will answer questions like, how much can I afford on blank, or how much did I make in the last X month? Think of Cleo as your free financial assistant that responds instantly. Plus, it's super safe. I cannot stress how helpful a tool like this can be when trying to get your finances right. People love it, the testimonials are awesome, and yeah, I think the service is a no-brainer for anyone with a brain. For example, I have Cleo open right now, and I'm gonna type in roast me. That's very true. I've spent so much money in the last month building out this office. Wow, Cleo has an attitude, I love it. Signing up takes just 2 minutes and you guys can use the link in the description to get started. Again, the link to Cleo will be down below and I really encourage you to check it out. And now back to the video. What type of business should people start if they want to make money?
One thing that I think still is like a growing space is content creators.
Especially the first business, I would say anything like consulting because you have really low overhead. So service businesses, low overhead. Don't try to start like an e-commerce business where you have like tons of products and you're not drop shipping them because you have a lot of costs up front and it might not work out. So go with service business.
Whatever they're actually passionate about, like people can smell BS from a mile away. So if you're selling something, like if I were to start selling nail polish, it's a great business model, but I don't give a crap about it. People are going to be able to see this is just a money grab.
Are there any free things that people should do to increase their chances of becoming wealthy?
Dude, YouTube is probably the best resource out there to learn anything.
I think putting yourself in a position to get lucky. So there's a lot of people who have a very self-defeatist mindset, and like I get it because it's tough, but a lot of people will be like, I did not grow up in the right family, therefore I have no chance, therefore it's not worth trying. And in reality, like if you talk to a lot of content creators that we know, a lot of them actually struggled their way out of like pretty bad positions, like whether it's addiction, whether it's poverty, they grinded and they worked hard.
Finding a mentor, asking questions. Being curious is like the ultimate hack in life because as long as you're curious, you can look stuff up online. There's free resources at the library. You can read and learn anything on YouTube. As long as you stay curious about a subject and you dive deep into it, ask the right people, make some connections, you can be successful.
Go to the public library. Nobody goes to the library anymore. I mean, I go all the time and I just read books. Like I read a book a week.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Free things, I would say watch Charlie's YouTube videos and get a better understanding of personal finance. All the information is online, you just gotta Google it.
What's the best investment you've ever made?
In myself, taking the plunge, quitting my job and going all in on YouTube.
Actually buying YouTube courses, funny enough. Like I learn a lot through YouTube courses and creating better YouTube videos out of the courses that I've made. Yeah.
Probably books. I've read so many personal finance books. When you're younger, you should be spending it on things that you can enjoy while you're young because maybe one day you won't be able to do those things. Maybe one day you won't be able to go skydiving, scuba diving with sharks and things like that.
What's your biggest failure?
I try to see my mistakes not as failures but as like lessons and learnings. It is a bit cheesy, but the fact that you're even doing those things means that you're pushing your boundaries. So is it really a mistake? I don't know. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I've started a lot of YouTube channels and I would say half of them have failed. So I probably have started 20, 25 channels.
How come those don't work?
I read the market wrong. I thought there was a bigger need for it or bigger demand than there actually was.
Not starting soon enough. I'm usually the type of person that thinks a lot before they do something. And I would say in my experience, anytime you can act fast and then learn from those failures, that's usually better than just waiting around for 6 months and then doing it.
What's a traditional personal finance rule that you always break?
I don't have a 401k. I personally never did it because I viewed it as tying up my liquidity. So if I was working at a job, I was making 100k, but let's say every paycheck, $800 was going to my 401k. That's $800 that I don't have to immediately deploy today. And I knew that I was a little bit more entrepreneurial. And hopefully in 50 years, I make way more than what my ending 401k balance will be.
Stop buying coffee or whatever at Starbucks. It's like the 80-20 rule in a sense, like 20% of the things you buy are driving like 80% of the expenses, and that coffee is not part of that 20%. If like a $3 cup of coffee gives you like increases your happiness by like X percent, then do you value your increase in happiness with $3?
Right.
So you have to also value that and see how that plays in with the cost.
What do you hate spending money on?
Clothes. I'm 100% fine spending money on experiences because I know I'm never gonna forget that. But outfits and stuff like that, I don't like how it makes me feel like there's wear and tear, and then I'll get a stain on it, and it'll ruin the entire outfit.
Taxes. I don't like spending money on things that are not efficient. So actually, yeah, taxes, like when I'm, pouring millions of dollars into something that doesn't actually really get used effectively. And that's why I love giving to charities. I don't like giving to charities that like 90% of my money just goes back into marketing for that charity. I like to give it to specific like sources that I know they're getting 100% of the proceeds.
I hate spending money on food just because I buy so much of it.
Okay.
Water. I hate the idea of paying for water. And
What do you love spending money on?
food and experiences. I think when I was younger, I was like, food's food, like, why do you care? Especially when you travel a lot more, I've grown to appreciate trying different things and like different cuisines.
Definitely experiences. Experiences, especially while you're young, they're honestly the best use of your money. And yeah, I honestly am so grateful that I did it.
Personally, love spending money on my friends. So like my biggest expense almost every month, I track it, is treating people to like lunch or dinner or coffee and stuff like that, or buying gifts for people. And then next biggest is eating out.
Okay.
I love spending money on travel, and some people say it's stupid, but I spend probably too much money on travel, but it's fun. It's an experience, and I think experiences are always something that's worthwhile to spend money on.
Tell me a financial flex that you're proud of.
I took my dad to Hawaii when he retired as a gift, and I'm buying my sister a car soon, so I like to take care of my family.
I have no car payment. I have no mortgage. I don't pay rent because I live at home. So basically, my overhead is very low. It's basically just health insurance.
That's amazing.
Which is about $500 a month, which is already expensive. But I don't have anything else besides the small bills, phone bill. Don't have anything big. So my recurring expenses every month, less than $1,000.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I love that.
Wow.
I'm able to do a lot of trips where when I meet the people there, they're shocked by how little I paid. So like I'll go to the Maldives and people are like, oh yeah, this is our honeymoon. We spent $30,000. It's like, oh yeah, this is our honeymoon too. We spent like $50,000, and I'm like, oh, this is a trip I take like every other year, and I spent like $5,000.
Wow.
Having the ability to buy basically anything I want to in cash, but leveraging credit to better maximize my cash.
What's your favorite personal finance book?
Money Mammoth by Dr. Brad Klontz. I learned that most of what we know about money is basically baked into our DNA from years upon years of financial either growth or trauma from our family that we don't even really realize until we sit down and actually talk to our family about it.
The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, it was such a game changer for me. I read that when I was like 12 years old, and it just totally changed the way that I viewed the world. Because it made me realize that you can live life without having to be stressed with a job and with work, and there's ways to sort of hack it.
It's either Rich Dad, Poor Dad or Ray Dalio's Principles. I know Ray Dalio's Principles is not exactly a personal finance book, but I learned a lot from it.
Yeah. What's the most frugal thing you've ever done?
I would say on a daily basis, I use the McDonald's app to get the McDonald's iced coffee for $1.08 with tax, rather than just going to Phil's or paying for like a $5 coffee at Starbucks. It's $1, so I feel like I could find $1 on the ground. You know what I mean? It almost feels free. It feels like a great purchase. I'm like, okay, great.
That's sweet. I use the McDonald's app too.
All the time, McDonald's app.
One of the things that I used to do was I used to kind of go around on the street, and if I saw something that somebody had just put in front of their home for free, like a mattress or an exercise bike, I would pick it up and then resell it on on a platform I guess you have Craigslist here in Australia. It's called Gumtree, and I'm so happy that I did that because I think it makes you a lot more resourceful, and you look for opportunities maybe where other people don't see them.
I had a black backpack and black jeans, and they were faded, and instead of buying new ones, I bought black dye, and I just re-dyed my bag and my pants.
Wow.
I probably spent an hour or 2 hours trying to figure out how to make the dye, how to make it perfect. Yeah, that's the most frugal thing ever.
Wow. What's your biggest piece of advice for someone that wants to become wealthy at a younger age?
Try everything and appreciate failure. I started a lot of businesses before anything took off, and all these businesses failed. I started a bunch of other like Instagram pages and YouTube channels before, like ASMR or mukbang or tech channels, and none of them actually took off. But from each one, I learned something that I implemented in my next project. Eventually, I accumulated enough skills to really go 100% on this finance channel.
Find what you're passionate about and then how to leverage it. Oftentimes, it's not going to be working for someone else. It is going to be either starting your own company, content creation, starting your own small business. If you're not into the business side of that, if you're more into the artistic side of it, can you like find these like super like millionaire clients who would pay for like the like expensive hedges that are like shaped like swabs and stuff. So like there's ways to make it work.
Stop trying to do what everyone else is doing. So if it's like investing, try to be a bit of a contrarian. So if everyone's pulling their money out of the stock market because they're scared, that means that you probably shouldn't pull your money out of the stock market, because if you do what everyone else does, you're never going to beat the markets ever. So try to always be a contrarian and look where nobody else is looking.
Seek knowledge and then go for scale and leverage. Especially early on in life, you just want to like learn as much as you can and never stop learning. Always be curious, as we talked about earlier.
Develop skills that are going to make you more money. There's only so much that you can cut out of a budget before you start having to earn more income. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Find out what you're passionate about and find a way to grow a skill that allows you to monetize that passion.
We all have like a part of ourselves that we love and we want to show the public, but then we also have our shadow selves, and that's the kind of parts of ourselves that maybe we've been taught that they're bad and we shouldn't have these parts of ourselves. So if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve wealth, you kind of have to make peace with like both parts of yourself. The things that you love about other people, that's what you love about yourself. The things that you don't like about other people, that's what you don't like about yourself, or you're too afraid to admit in yourself. Sometimes when you see something you don't like, if you see something that triggers you, that should be a prompt to start asking yourself, why does it trigger you? Like, what is it? Maybe there's a part of yourself that you've pushed away for so long. Being honest with yourself, learning about it, knowing that there's honestly nothing to be ashamed of, because like nobody's perfect.
Right.
We all have these good and bad parts of ourselves, and yeah, learn to live with it, and then that's how you can like move forward and be successful, build your wealth. Just learn about yourself.
So there you have it, asking personal finance creators how to become rich. Personally, I learned so much talking to everyone today. I felt like everyone had a lot of really great insight, and if you take what they say and actually apply it, you can become rich too. Again, I encourage you guys to download Cleo, let her roast your finances, and yeah, that link is gonna be down below in the description. And also, if you guys wanna sign up for my free newsletter, it's called Hustle Club, and we basically teach you how to become a better entrepreneur in 3 minutes or less per week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I'm making a ton of videos about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.